to do that. You know, we don't train like we used to. We don't show that support. There's not a lot of financial support that can go straight to candidates in a lot of cases. In a lot of candidates, there were several benchmarks that you had to hit before the state party would kick in funds. And I like that idea. It shows that the candidate is motivated and ready to do it. Something like this, everybody gets. As far as financial goes, it's not hard to put together a 30-second or a 60-second television spot. It's even easier to put together a 30-second or a 60-second radio spot. You have a laptop and a microphone. You can put together broadcast quality media. And I know how to do that. I have pitched it to the party. I pitched it in 05, 06, 07, 08. Last year, I was doing a lecture at the University of Utah, and I had a bunch of film students in their fourth year, their senior year, come to me and say, nobody ever talks to us about politics. Because the party goes up to the Hinckley to try to pull all of their interns in. What can we do to help? And I said, you can either find a candidate, jump on board with them, do whatever it is they need to do. You can go down to the state party, volunteer, tell them what you want to do, what you're willing to do, and have them work with you. You know, talk to Utah for Obama, see what help they need. They wanted to make TV spots. They wanted to make web ads. They wanted to teach candidates how to do like YouTube for their websites. Come in, spend a half an hour, shoot it, process it, push it up to the internet. In an hour, you've got online media. So they go down to the party and volunteer. The first thing that happens is they're put on the button machine. So they're making buttons, or they're stuffing envelopes, or they're doing data entry. And they try it twice, 2 straight days to go down and volunteer and offer their services and put their plan forth. And every time they went down, they were put on doing something that did not use their talents, that did not have anything whatsoever to do with what they could do. The financial benefit they could have provided to candidates in the party was in the hundreds of thousands of dollars range that they were willing to do for free. And instead, you know, we got minimum wage button stamping out of them for 2 days. They're discouraged. They're not involved anymore. We ran some stuff during the campaign. Are we running anything now? We've got a whole year to where we need to build up the momentum for a Senate candidate in 2010, all the legislative candidates that are going to, you know, all the House and the couple of Senate seats are going to be up for run. What are we running now? What are we talking about now? Are we talking about the fantastic things that Democrats do and are? Are we defining what we stand for right now when no one else is talking? Or do we still put out a press release that the newspapers, the 2 big newspapers, ignore? Or when we do put our point in, they go to the Republicans and ask them what their opinion on what it is we said. They always do it. When a Republican puts out a press release, they put out the Republican press release. Because they've set the tone, they're pushing the conversation. We need to define ourselves all year long. The best way, in my opinion, to do that is through strategic use of television, radio, print, where needed. Knocking on doors is fantastic, especially in the outlying area. We knocked on 100,000 doors this year. That's great. There's 2.6 million people in Utah. So that's actually kind of small. It's a little number. It's a huge, huge accomplishment. But when you put it into the context of how many people's doors didn't get knocked on, the average Utahn spends 2,000 hours a year watching television. They spend 1,500 hours a year listening to the radio. They spend 150 hours a year reading a newspaper. We do a tap dance for the newspapers over and over and over again. We spend a bundle throwing an ad, a fantastic message, a few days out from Election Day with Mitt Romney saying silly things about the Republican Party. It was a wonderful ad. Should have run 6 months earlier. Made everybody mad 6 months before the election. Then we turn it into our messaging. We bring it up, we bring it up, we bring it up, until they're not mad anymore and they start to think about it. So it's strategy. It's not what you say, it's how and when you say it. And I think that's the point that we missed. You know, we did pick up a couple of seats this last year. We spent $1.4 million to do it. We picked up a couple of seats 2 years before, and we spent $300,000. And so I see the growth, and I listen to the percentages, and they're fantastic. It's a great message. We could have done so much better. We've had a Democratic wave 2 election cycles in a row that peters out and rolls slowly over Utah's above. And we could do more by redefining ourselves in such a way that the Republicans cannot compete. One of the things you hear is, we outraised them last year. That's brilliant. What did we do with that money? You know, did we do statewide messaging? Did we let people know from border to border who we are and what we stand for? You know, we didn't. We did some strategic work. We did some new things. But I don't think that they were enough. Everything we did was great. But in my opinion, it's about 1/10 of what we should have done. So I think that we could be better, both for candidates, but outside of election, we got a year and a half where there's no election noise being made, where we are completely silent. We're not in parades, we're not at fairs, we're not on TV, we're not on the radio. Basically what we get are whatever snippets those two newspapers will let us have. That's what I want to change. Now, starting Tuesday, putting a whole bunch of new stuff on my website, janbell.org. I hope you'll visit. Any questions you have, there's contact forms there. Anything you need. In a few minutes, I have to run all the way down to Ogden to try and get there before they're done. But it's important to me to get up here and say hello to all of you. But if you have any questions, let me know. Get in touch with me. I'm more than happy to chat. And I plan on coming up in a couple of weeks, having a little luncheon. Anybody who wants to come, we can sit down and have a talk about anything at all. Any questions?
Your website, was that JM as in Mark or Nancy?
M as in Mark. And I like Mark.
And I'll pass down a little handout with contact information too, so.
Thank you, everybody. I'm so pleased to come up. It's beautiful. It's snowing.